Hello and welcome to Apayo's programming channel. A friend of mine has started learning programming, so I thought maybe I can go over some details of C# programming, and that might be useful. So today we're going to create just a Hello World program that outputs on the console Hello World. Here you see the development screen. This is Visual Studio. I'm running a preview version of the Community Edition, so 2017, which makes a slight difference because there are modern things that you can do that you could not do with an older version. Like this is C#6. If you're in C#4, you might not have things like string interpolation, which I realize to someone new to C# doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So let's just skip ahead. File, new project is what we want to do. And this offers us straight up a dialog. This is C++. Other languages, C#. There, you need to find C# in here. And you can actually use the search box and go for C#, kind of in all or something, or installed. Right, that doesn't work. Yeah, and it'll show stuff. If you go into Visual Studio C#, you can see like get started console application desktop app. That's actually pretty new. Didn't realize that. I tend to use Windows desktop. I think that's fairly easy. We can either go for where's the WPF1? It's at the top. So you can go for a WPF one. We'll do that next time maybe. This time let's go for a console application. Yeah. If I don't see C#, does anything change? No. Right, let's just go for a console application. Now here's Windows Forms. Just stay away from Windows Forms. Console application. Windows Forms is an ancient technology that was like the first version of getting Windows to show on your Windows computer. Console application. Let's call it demo app and hit OK. The first thing that you know, there's a Solution Explorer on the left. If that doesn't show for you, you can actually go View Solution Explorer here. These are all the things that you could look at, like your output, your call history, if you want to use that. So the most important at the start is probably the error window and this output window. Might be interesting if you compile and something doesn't work. Sometimes it's in the output window instead of the error window. Should be good for now. Why does it highlight this immediately? Okay. So this is what you get. The demo application on the left. You see the properties. These are things about the demo application. You can see that this has a I think it's globally unique ID or something. It's supposed to be global. It's actually random, so it should be sufficiently random to make it not collide with anything else, but it's technically possible to collide. This is the assembly version. These are things that you'll find if you right-click on the File Explorer later on an executable or a DLL and go to the properties of the file. These are some of the things that you might find in that file. So you can change that here. There's no reason for a beginner programmer to ever look at that, so just leave it. References, you can see these are the things that are imported automatically. Basically, references are parts of programs someone else has written and that you can reuse. So that's actually pretty nifty. And then we have the app configuration. This is something relevant for the startup of the application. You don't need to change that. And this is the actual important part, the program.cs, CS for C# of course. And you can see that there is a static void main. And that is important, and you find that If you go into the properties of project, you find this thing, and you have like, I need to build. I'd have to look that up myself now. It's in here somewhere. Services. Let's just click through it wildly. Somewhere you can set that this is the startup. Assembly name is demo app. Default namespace is demo app. Yeah. And you see that this is the namespace demo app. I actually don't find it right now. Interesting. So I'll look that up later. Oh, the whole project. Because there is startup information. There is exactly one. It's always set to whatever you generated just now, and there's exactly one starting point. So it goes in here and it has these arguments, and we can go. There's a subsystem that's linked here, which is console, and that's basically some of the things that someone else has written, which is very comfortable. And you can go to write, which does not add a line break, or you just go write line, which adds a line break. And if you just start, you can see that with these arrows here, you can kind of look through the different versions of things that you could do. Like you can see that an integer would be possible, long, anything, and there's also a string version. We use the string version and just write in here hello world. Now let me do this incorrectly. I'll just write hello world, and things don't work because this isn't a string. See, you need to mark strings like that. So just have these quotation marks around the string, which leads to a problem. What if you actually want to output a quotation mark, and there you have things like escape strings. So if you go backslash, you're telling him to escape, which now he says, well, what are you escaping? I don't know. You're trying to escape a space that doesn't make sense. So he says unrecognized escape sequence. Well, we want you to write that one. Now if you need, see, problems just keep cropping up in programming. If you actually want to output a backspace, you need to go twice. So you're escaping with the escape, and that kind of fills everything. There's a few more things like \n is new line. Basically, the escape strings are for either characters you can't write because you needed them for C# to make sense, so the compiler knows what you want, like the quotation marks. And you can also use escape strings to write things that you can't write on your keyboard. You can also write like, I don't know, U2. I don't know what this thing is, but this is Unicode now. That's the wrong direction, this one. So /u is, okay, I'm giving you a Unicode number, write this character. Let's see what this is actually. You can hit two things. You can hit F5, which just runs it. Yeah. Cleanup is not configured, which is fine. Now it ran and it's gone. You don't see it. So that's a problem, right? And what I did is, if I go into debug, I clicked start debugging, and it would stop on a debugger. So like that, it would stop here. So if I now hit F5, the debugger hit that point and it stopped. And let me get the window on the screen. Yeah, so it's a fairly big window. I'm gonna make this smaller somehow. Okay, there we go. Okay, and you see that it's so he didn't know whatever this was, and he output question mark instead. I can't blame him. I don't know what this Unicode character is either. So he doesn't know how to write that Unicode character on the console. He just wrote a question mark, which is fine. You can see that the escape string for that one worked, and the next one worked too. And we wrote hello world, and it stopped on the debugger. To continue, we can actually, oh, I closed the window, so now we can't continue. So let me get there again. See, to continue, you can see up there there's a continue, and it's actually also just a 5. So just hit a 5 and it continues. which means reaching the end of program closes everything. There's a different version of this where you run without the debugger, and if you check out, debug, start without debugging, and that one actually sets a break at the end of the console for you. So if I hit Control F5, you can see that there is now press any key to continue. And that's actually good practice, just a general hint. If you look up things, it says like F5, Control F5, Alt F2, you never need the performance profile at the beginning. So don't bother. These are the most important ones. But if you want to do anything like step into, step over, these are commands that we might see later. Just look them up and then actually use the keyboard so you get to know what the keyboard shortcut is, because everything's way more faster. Like there is a sheet, if I wrote con and now you can see that the autocomplete started and it suggests, did you want to write console? I can just go Control space, no, Alt space, damn it, Tab, okay, Enter. And it's so much faster. I don't know why Control space didn't work. Actually, no. Okay, Enter seems to work here. For some reason, well, learn something new. Yeah, Control space I think is a C++ editor thing, or maybe just works on local variables. I need to check. Local variables is something we'll do next time. So this is a simple hello world program. Let me prettify this. Maybe one more thing, and then it's definitely enough. You can see that there are args up here, and C# gives you arguments. So if I go console.writeLine, and this is an array, we get into that later. Just know, I know that they start with an index of 0, and why I'll go into later. And you get the arguments from the command line. And I'm printing out the 0th argument, which is, there is no argument 0. I was fully expecting there to be an argument 0, and specifically to have it be the name of the called program. But I guess that's different in C#, because it isn't on batch execution in C++, so there are differences. And I caused an execution. This is how a crash looks like. Close the program. So welcome to programming. Yeah, next time I'll go into, I don't know, maybe variables. If you have any specific topic, just let me know in the comments and we can go into that. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.